So Josh and Christy, why marriage and family? Talk to me about that.
I think for me, it was because I had amazing parents. But I think even deeper than that, like for example, when I say that, I can count on one hand the number of wrestling matches my dad missed during my entire wrestling career. And that was because he couldn't get off work in time to be there. It was like he was always in the stands. But I think even deeper than that is that when I was 10 years old, I will never forget, like I had amazing parents. But when I was 10 years old, it was July 9, 1990. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I couldn't see very well. And I looked over at my clock and it said 6:04 a.m. So it's July 9. I'm ready to go to the creek and play with my friends, ride my bike, get out hot summer day. And my mom came in and my sister came in behind her. And she said, Josh, she said, I'm moving out today. Do you want to stay here with your dad or do you want to go with me? And for a 10-year-old boy at the time, it was like, whoa, what's happening? Like my world was just like, what is going on? And I remember that day choosing to stay with my dad because, and I'm firstborn, I remember it was like, I wanted to make everybody happy. I didn't want anyone, like, here's my family. And I'd never seen my parents argue. So this is the first time. And so I think at a deeper level, I became the fixer in the family. It was like I became the one who was going to hold everything together. I was the one who's going to hold everything together. And that was a big turning point in my life. So I had amazing parents, but divorce was significantly rampant throughout my family.
Wow. What about you, Christy? Why marriage and family?
It's funny, if I go back to high school, I could have told you then that I felt called to marriage and family, and I didn't know why. I had a great family, and I think we kind of came from two different sides of the coin in that my parents are still married, and obviously no family's perfect, but it was solid, and I felt so safe in my family with my siblings, with my mom, with my dad, and it was like this unit that sort of was my safe place in a really scary world. And I remember, as you grow up, it's like you have all these different friendships and you're kind of getting to know their families and their dynamics. And it was like so different than what I was experiencing. And I think at a really young age, the Lord impressed upon me that this is how I have structured to like really provide safety for my people. Mm. And when there's brokenness in that, the effects are devastating. Like the effects of those kids, like my own friends, and to watch them, just like Josh's story, where it was like going from mom's house to dad's house, and just the effects that had on them. And I knew somewhere that it mattered. Like I knew deeply that it mattered. But I had no box for that. I had no context. Like growing up, that wasn't a thing. It's not like a job. But I knew that was what I felt called to do, to imprint this on the world.
And what's funny about that is I didn't start with this sense of, oh, it mattered. Mm. I just started with this sense of I knew what I had. Mm. And I wanted to make sure that I was able to, I think, provide that for other people.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been until later in life as I've grown in the Lord and grown in my own walk that I'm like, oh, this is why the Lord established the household. This is what it was for.
Wow.
And that's what gets me excited.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what is famous at home? If you can sum it up.
I used to say that the greatest red carpet you'll ever walk is through your front door. And though that is true, we're moving from red carpet to revival. Revival in your family. And that's because we want to help you find your way home. It's all about helping you find your way home. Famous at home is about your identity. And the trouble is this world is asking us to put our identity in so many different places and so many different things. But when you realize that your identity is first as a child of God with the Father, finding your way back home to the Father, therefore then finding your way back home to your true self and who God created you to be, that's what leads you back home to your family, where you can show up with an awakened heart. And the result is your family living in revival. And that's what Famous at Home is all about today.